Today we're going to talk a little bit about stretching. A question I always have as far as stretching before running is, should I do static or dynamic? I like to answer that with a question and ask, is your running static or dynamic? Since running and movement is dynamic, we should incorporate dynamic movements into our warm-up. We should also make those movements three-dimensional, meaning that we do our stretches in the sagittal plane or front to back, in the frontal plane, side to side, as well as the transverse plane or rotational. So we're going to start with our 3D stretches. First one will be the hip stretch. One knee down, one leg up, and we're going to drive the hips forward as you reach your arms overhead. Then we're going to get into those transverse and frontal planes by reaching up and to the side. And then we will rotate the other way as well, doing at least 5 up to 10 repetitions. I'll show you that same hip stretch, but from the side view. And you want to make sure that if you're not feeling it, that you scoot this foot out a little bit. So you don't want this heel up here, but you want to get at least to 90 degrees on that leg. The second one's going to be the groin stretch. So I'm turning my back knee out to 90 degrees or making an L with my thighs. My arm movements are exactly the same as they were for the hip stretches. So I go overhead, go right, and left. Again, side view, other leg for the groin. All right, hamstring stretch. One knee down, one leg out straight, and my dynamic reaches will be left hand to the right, right hand to the left. It's a really good idea to keep this knee straight and the toe up so you incorporate a calf stretch as well. Now, if this was the end of your workout and you wanted more of a static stretch, you can go those same reaches and just hold each position, adding the middle one there. So your cool down should include some sort of dynamic and static stretching. The piriformis stretch. Some people mispronounce it and call it the performance stretch, but it's named after muscle in your hip, although the piriformis stretch will improve your performance. So shoot for about 90 degrees on this front hip, or front knee rather, and both hips facing the ground. And I'll hold forward, go over to the right, over to the left, 5 to 10 seconds for each position, and then do what I call patty cake reaches. At least 5 to each side, and repeat that on the other leg. The last one, calf stretch. We're going to go in a prone position here, and if you have any shoulder issues, you may want to put your hands up on a bench, but do your best to keep this heel flat and then rock your hips side to side. See, a lot of people when they do this stretch, they'll want to bend the knee or not have the heel down, so make sure you walk your hands towards your feet and stick your butt up in the air. So quick recap, dynamic stretching before, combination of static and dynamic stretching after your workout, making sure you go through all 3 planes of motion.